So hi, I'm good, and I'm going to show you my movement speed build. So this is the third one, and does things a little bit differently. So for one, I am using a Queen of the Forest still. This is the best chest for any movement speed build, and in particular, quite good for this kind. Then a Legacy Lionized Remorse Shield. So if you don't know, the Legacy version has minus 6% movement speed innately because it is a tower shield. That was changed, now they have 3%. So Legacy version, skinned with another Legacy Lionized Remorse for even slower movement speed. I've got this Hubris Circlet with silver wings, very important aspect of this. You know, gotta get my racing stripes on. Regular flask belt, an anvil for even lower movement speed, and a pair of lionized paws, which they give increased movement speed, but outside of town they give decreased movement speed, so even slower. And then I have a pair of Orsees. With the Legacy Lionized Remorse, you move 1% slower than you would with a Moroi, which has negative 10% movement speed. So let's see how this works in the field after I get it set up. I'm gonna go to Sidia Sarn, regular Sarn run. Let's see how this goes. So gotta put all my ores on. And last part is I gotta snapshot my curse on with my gloves. So I made these things, I did in the game. And people have always asked me to like make a build with them, or like how do you make a build with them? This is a build that I actually made them for, the Supreme Slow Movement Speed build. So we'll see how that all works. I think Leap Slam is a little bit faster. Yeah, it's probably a lot faster. Let's get some mobs. There we go. So now that we got cast an ore. So now we've got our whole setup. Gotta swap gloves again. Even slower. And let's Cyclone. Actually, let's do a Lightning Warp and Cyclone. So I have Lightning Warp linked with faster casting like many people would. Or pretty fast cast speed, because that's kind of an issue. But I also have it linked to increased duration. So it is incredibly slow. Furthermore, I picked up these skill duration nodes, so it's even slower. I kind of like go over the build and how it works. The Cyclone's going to take a while. So I got these area nodes, and they're important because you're never going to reach the mobs. So you got to get some area to like even reach some mobs with Cyclone. Furthermore, because this is a hybrid build, I got some life regen and Zealot's Oath, so I can have some passive shield regeneration. Buff duration nodes, so there's no way I can actually cast Immortal Call. Oh yeah, I can take that gem out now since, you know, it's not too important right now. So I have Immortal Call with Enduring Cry and cast some damage taken. Yeah, warp finally. Oh boy. Cyclone again. Alright. So I have Immortal Call linked with cast damage taken. So this is just to provide a lot of physical damage mitigation. Because I can't actually self-cast it, because the duration, even with temp chains, is not long enough with this Cyclone going. You know, fair enough. Got Resolute Techniques, you can always hit. As you notice, there aren't too many damage nodes, but as you can see, it doesn't really matter because you need damage when you're not limited by your movement speed. So, if I reach the mobs, I will eventually kill them. Technically still clearing at run speed, so in that sense I do have enough damage. I picked the flask nodes, which will buff up my granite flasks like Rumi's Concoction. So I have this sweet, with the Rumi's up, I have 78% chance to block, 20% spell block, incredibly tanky build, along with 20k armor. I mean, pretty strong. What else? Yeah, I got permacurse, so I can snapshot my curse to myself. And what else? Oh yeah, so you might think that desync kind of goes away when you're moving this slow, but it really doesn't. I mean, every single time I use this Cyclone linked with multi-strike, so it locks me into it even longer, I tend to get desynced immediately. Might occur, might not. I mean, generally the fastest way to end a Cyclone is to lock. Oh, I see there, I'm desynced. Where am I now? The Cyclone was done. Amazing. So, usually the quickest way to end a Cyclone on this character is to simply log out. Wow, I'm desynced already. I was going that way! Who knew? So... I'm desynced again! So, as you can see, very, very desync prone. But still pretty tanky and, you know, fairly safe, because you will never reach enough mobs to actually put yourself in any amount of danger. Yeah, so I would say hardcore viable in that respect. Apparently, I'm done cycloning. Who knew? So what else? I gotta wait for the cyclone to finish. I don't even know anymore. I just don't even know. So, that's speed. So there's a couple things you can do with if you're moving this slowly. And one of them I found out is you can actually use Leap Slam with your bare fists. I didn't know this, but you can make a Face Breaker Leap Slam build. Am I really already desynced? Wow. Literally every single time. So I didn't know this, but you can actually make a Face Breaker Leap Slam build. Where am I now? Dear God. What? I don't even know. Here's how I fix desync this time. I just don't even know. So one of the things you can do is make a Face Breaker Leap Slam build. I didn't know this, but you can actually Leap Slam with claws and unarmed, and other things you shouldn't be able to Leap Slam with. Let's get back to the fight. Get our curses up. Get our auras up. Bam. Get your Nikes on. Like that. Okay, cursed. So here's what I found out. That. And so if you weapon swap while leap slamming, so here's how much damage it regularly does. So bam, does like that damage, like half their life. But if you take off the weapon mid leap slam, you can leap slam unarmed. It's brilliant, I know. So you could make a build with this. It would be incredibly tedious and do almost no damage, and probably not be at all smart or wise to do, but you could do it. Make like a claw leap slam build. Pretty sure you would have to use an external program though, so that might be against the TOS. But yeah, this is Movement Speed Build 3. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time, probably before this cyclone even finishes. Oh my god.